color fading and oh yeah, we just continued that.
Yeah, that's
Always
really
like that.
anything close. I ended up going out to the back of Boyd's property and found these.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What you found? You're all set?
The caps for that wall.
Oh. One more. We had,
Plenty of responses.
yeah, we had plenty of yeses, so. I know Dar's not coming,
Yeah,
but
he said,
and Shinsky's not coming, but everyone else said they was coming. So,
Dr. Shinsky would be 5 minutes late anyway.
but he's, yeah, but he's not coming. He
Right.
told us he wasn't. So. Good short meeting.
I took Boyd's check, didn't I?
I believe you did.
I said, I'm take that with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Why, did you lose it?
It's a very good possibility.
I have not heard back from him about whether he contacted for
We don't have.
Yeah,
enough-
he
We
took
don't
a
have
whole
enough
bunch
for a
of-
meeting, yes.
She's coming.
Oh, here comes Sharon.
He took a bunch of pictures of it and sent them to me.
Did he? Oh,
Yeah.
Now you're
okay.
sorry, I'm late.
That's all right. We were starting to think we didn't have enough. We're like, oh. Okay, good. If he sent pictures, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was like,
He sent me pictures.
so did you write the check? You did, right? I remember.
She
you gave
wrote
us
it.
a
I
check.
took it. I know I did.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is I
Doesn't know
put
where
it,
he put it after that.
I put it in my truck. And it's knew I was gonna see him. I saw him 3 times. I told him I'm gonna see him again tomorrow. So I thought about it again.
I saw him yesterday.
And because he's coming to borrow one of my tools. And I said, I gotta remember to do that.
Didn't write him a check for the criminal. I didn't
He
include
did.
that.
Yeah,
I was waiting to
see it.
I was waiting for.
He can get another actual.
What did we decide on the banner, canopy for the band stuff?
Oh, we didn't. We just moved the tree.
Or you just moved the trees? Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed that meeting somehow.
Has anyone made a comment about him? I mean, he did a comment or?
Actually, we have not had one single complaint, so I guess I consider that a good comment.
What
I mean, we
about the
haven't-
people that are using it, though, that are standing there? Is it-
Gail says it's better.
It's a little better.
Yeah.
It's not great yet by any means, but
No, but like, I mean, have you seen the picture, like, of the shadow that is cast on there? It literally, if you look at some of the videos that people posted, there is a shadow right on the stage. So, I mean, C2A did a great job telling us where to place them. And they're gonna get bigger, so,
well, they'll fill in.
yeah,
I mean, this is the worst that he's. When you first.
we can't see those in the back row. This chair, maybe that thing. I could just stand around and be Vanna.
I hang them anywhere that I can put them away tomorrow.
There you go.
Could you bring each one up to me so I could get a close look?
Vanna,
My eyes are really bad tonight.
We're gonna need a tour.
just lay him on the floor right there. That works. They can see.
No
it.
flakes.
Actually, could you pin them to the ceiling for us?
I could have.
You're getting out of not cutting that tree up, so just remember that.
Oh, they'll let me know.
Okay, so we're ready to rock and roll, Cassie.
All right, we're gonna
That's
start.
all but the one
I don't know
that's
if you
up
heard
there
her
now,
now.
so I don't have an
You're all
extra.
good.
Six after 6, we'll say.
6:08.
6:06.
Tardy.
No, you're right on time.
We need to approve minutes from last month.
Make a motion that we approve.
Second.
One motion second. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, Miss Treasurer.
So our starting balance at the beginning of fiscal year, July 1 is
$95,013.33. We did pay out one face forward at $3,640 and also earned interest of $8.34. So we have an ending balance now at the end of July of $91,381.67.
Questions? Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion and second. Secretary's report. All in favor? Anyone opposed? How many more phase forwards do we have out there?
She does.
I do know. Give me a second.
So we paid Budnick.
Yep.
So now we're on to this year's, right?
Now, let me just see what we carried over.
Defense.
We paid the fence, we paid Budnick. We got his right posts, because he's doing the siding and that stuff.
This guy here, this kid that's doing this all.
What was that? What was that?
Siding.
We gave him siding.
Yeah, so that's out.
Yeah,
still.
we,
But those are like this budget. So
this
we're-
budget, yeah.
So we haven't paid any from this budget, unless the fence was this budget. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so we brought forward $8,000 to this budget. So we have, and Budnick was one, and there's another 5,000. Unfortunately, I don't have my paperwork all in order right now. Let's see.
Was another 5, the fence was a 5,
No.
fence was
um,
30 some $100 too.
What was last month's minutes? Because we've been putting in the minutes, so. That was Budnick probably. Yep.
Yeah. That was the only one that I saw.
I can look at my stuff here. I just
Okay, I was
haven't put
just-
all of it in the file
I was
yet. so-
just curious, mostly.
Yeah, we brought forward 2,800, and so. So there must be somebody else also that's still outstanding.
Okay. Letter from the MEDC.
The plots is outstanding.
He's already done.
No, I
Oh, we
already
did
paid
them?
him. Yeah,
That
I
was
already
the
paid
other
him.
5,000. we paid them.
Yeah,
On the MEDC, we did not, we were not awarded this originally. So,
we can't tell stories,
we're not gonna get funded to tell
Truths.
stories.
but we can
We can toot our own horn if we want.
make up some stories.
to.
Dave, what do you got for banners there? I mean, other than what we can see here.
Where's the pictures of the new ones? Are those over there too? So basically, I mean, I see them when they're up on the street, but when they're down here, if you take a look at those, that farmer market is getting pretty faded. And that stays up from June to October, pretty much. The pancake breakfast, I don't know that we paid for those, the LBC.
I think
did,
the LBC did those because it's a
Oh.
different material.
The winter ones are in decent shape, we
Yeah,
decided,
because them aren't
right?
up very long because them come down when the lights go up and.
Not as much sun even.
We just think those spring ones are awful. We don't like them. But there's a difference between the two. The one that's kind of the faded one, that's the one that's been up, right?
Correct.
The other one's not been on a pole,
And the other one, the other spring one is the one that's up right now.
which is, it doesn't say spring
I don't
on it,
have
it
an
just,
extra one of them.
yeah. So.
You didn't
it-
climb up there and take it
And
down?
those look
Right.
pretty bad. They've been up a while. So we're gonna really need to start a program of like maybe replacing these like we talked about regularly. So, I mean, I think the $2,500 or the 2,000 that you guys gave us will get us about,
I think it was around $25.
yeah. So that gonna get us enough to do the poles, maybe just one set?
Yeah.
So Kim has some pictures we've been kind of looking up, just trying to get ideas of some things we can put up. I think Dave has them up there, right? You got the
I don't
picture?
know.
Kim brought them out here. We just cover them up. Are they in my spot? I didn't see them sitting here,
I
but
didn't see it.
that doesn't surprise me if they would be. Oh, I might have to.
Sounds like
Did the book pack banners the city bought, or are they from the boosters, or?
No, we did.
We've been trying some pictures, like just to see
Yeah.
what,
And them
Some-
ones, the Wolfpack
some
ones. we
different
changed more than any, 'cause
options
Them are up literally. two
for-
seasons.
you guys are just gonna wanna pass these around, take a look at them, like,
They're out for 3 seasons?
Yeah, they go up in spring, they're up all summer, and then fall, they don't come down to the winter ones.
But how many of that, there's not enough of any one of these to do every fall, right?
No,
So
no,
when you say they're up for 3 seasons, they're not literally up for 3 seasons on every pole, they're up,
so if you look at this chart that I
every other
gave you,
fall.
oh, okay.
this chart in the back of your packet, the very last page, tells you that we have 13 of those Wolfpack ones. We have 36 winter, which means we have so many of those blue ones and so many of those white ones.
You
And
have 36 of them total,
between the two, for whatever reason.
so
and
that's
those-
enough to do every pole.
But those are the ones that stay up the least, right? Because of the Christmas, but we can put up the blue ones on the poles that don't have the Christmas lights.
Which we do, like
Okay.
behind the bar and.
And then the Winterfest ones, we put up like in November, but once Winterfest hits. But one of the things Kim was saying, like, she says she went through Pentwater or whatever, because we've been kind of trying to see what other people are doing, and it's kind of a good idea, like, so they have a Winterfest one, a pancake breakfast one, whatever, farmer's market. And they leave them up, like, rotate them all the time, like, not just when their event is. So that like in the summer, we're gonna have a Winterfest and a pancake breakfast and, so, I mean, that's just what she noticed in Pentwater, which I'm like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Like
Good
in a certain
advertising.
area or whatever, leave up all of them, but.
All
Um,
the different ones you need
yeah,
at one time.
yeah, like, so when your events are,
So you like to
so,
put it in order, like whatever comes first, that, and then pancake, and then that, and you have 3 in a row, let's say,
right,
like
like we could put them up
right here.
maybe during an
The main
event even,
track.
so that people knew of all the other events that you have. It's just a thought.
That's not a bad idea. Can I share some of my opinions?
Sure, let me finish telling you guys what we have. So we have 21 of the autumn. All right, and remember, we have a total of 26 poles, okay? We have 21 of the autumn ones, and we have 18 of those dull spring ones, Dave, right? And 17 of the pancake breakfast ones,
Correct.
okay, and we have 26 poles.
So you don't have any that are like half. You don't have any that are like 13 of them to do every other pole like you're talking.
Just the wolf pack.
Just the Wolfpack one.
Okay, all the rest, you have more than enough to do more than half the poles.
Correct.
And some of them you have enough to do all of the poles.
Only the winter ones.
Only the
Yep.
winter ones.
Okay,
And the
but
reason
you-
there
you
was
had
more like the
27.
spring ones and stuff. Remember, we used to go down Roseville Road with them, and then went down when the market ones went. So
Okay.
the only ones on Roosevelt Road now are from the market.
So all the ones that you have, are they all have they all been out one way or another? So that like that one looks new?
That green one right there is the only one of them we have.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to.
That was
All the rest of them look
That
like
bright
that.
green one was the original one, and when that got replaced, it got replaced with that lighter.
That's
So
not-
one way or another, if you had 17 of any one, let's say you had 17 of the Wolfpack one, they've all been out one way or another, not half of them, 8 of them or whatever.
Right, all of
Correct,
them.
So all of them have been out and they're all faded, basically the same.
correct.
So a new one would look considerably different in
Yes.
any of them.
Brighter and, yeah.
Okay,
And even some of our thoughts were like, maybe take the Wolfpack one and do a red one or something that says welcome to
Flip-flop it.
Lake. So that we could, so maybe start buying something that complements
Mhm.
some of the ones
Mhm.
until we can start, flipping them around. So, and the rest of this chart that I have, I mean, we went down and looked at all the poles. And we have these 3 over here at McClintock Park, which might be kind of nice to put our events on.
I think, I agree with that.
And there's no brackets on them right now. But I talked to Dave and we could get brackets, but there's 3 right there that would be really nice. Everybody goes to the post office. Everybody goes to the concerts and the movies and the music and all that stuff. Be a great place to put all of our events. And then in front of the pharmacy, that pole doesn't have a bracket of it. The corner of High and Grand River doesn't have a bracket right by the school. And the corner of Crum and Lang right by Budnick's, that one doesn't have a bracket either. And then in PDP's and then the bar parking lot, there's like 3 that don't have brackets, or 2.
Two.
Well, but they're kind
All the
of,
poles have been knocked down.
right,
and
but it's
replaced.
an odd, like, so you have a banner, an empty bracket, a banner, so
So how
those,
many empty ones do we have?
so we have 8 more that
Eight.
we could possibly add those brackets to.
Bringing us to a total of 34.
Correct.
So when we need to order,
Right,
need
so
to have
those are things,
34 of
I mean, I feel
something.
like if we're gonna look at this, we should just look at the whole picture
Mhm.
before we just start hilly-nilly ordering 6 or whatever. We kind of need a plan. We need to figure out what you guys want us to do. That's where your ideas come in.
I get hurt.
Yes.
So, in my world, I'm not a marketing expert, I won't pretend to be, but I work with a lot of marketing people. And I've spent some time just kind of listening to other marketing people talk about colors. I mean, effect that colors have on a person's mood and psychology and inclination to shop and spend. Red is a color that makes us hungry and makes us want to spend and buy. So it's a color that gets us consumers in general and visitors. It kind of clicks something on where you just want to spend more. So they've actually done studies like, why is Target discount and Kmart, all these stores, why are they all red? Like, look at their banner, because they've done psychology studies. And they know red makes people open their pocketbooks. So I love red. I love the red on white. Looks really modern to me. Green is a mental institution color. Yellow and green, those colors make you agitated and angry.
I get angry looking at those too, I'm not gonna
You know,
lie.
I can't, yellow to me, most of these colors, so blue is calming. You want to calm people down, blue and green, like soft green, like this green and these blues. That's mental institution green, but these colors are kind of really calming. Almost to the point where like they're subdued. To me, I just think they're sleepy.
We got a bunch of others.
So, yeah, oh, okay, I didn't see the others, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that, I thought there was just one. So I'll pass this one around, and then I think that the designs are really old fashioned. Like I go to other communities and there's so much that's, yeah, that's, but here you're doing something different, that's cool. I mean, you're
Right.
trying to say historic. This to me is something you would do in the 1980s, but we wouldn't do that today. I'm sorry. So when I look at this, I'm sort of like, do we want to be historic or 80s, or do we want to move into the current decade and have something that really looks modern? It's just a thought, something to watch out for when you look at these.
This one is
They're
not a
pretty-
great picture,
I
but
love
They're
that
they're
farmer's
pretty
market
and
one.
cute, but they're also sedated and old
I love that
fashioned. The other thing is that it's really important that the words be discernible for someone who's driving. So like, for example, autumn here in the middle of this banner, see how tiny it is? And it's in a script almost. So like when you're flying by in your car, because you're speeding, whether you're speeding or not, it's like, it's really, that's not a very discernible word. Like,
we're also not certain we need to tell people whether it's spring or autumn.
No, we don't.
So we see a
Those
lot.
are, those two are my least favorite when they're hung up.
So
That
I'm
one.
Right, right. And when they
I
came
don't know
back,
why.
when Edwards came back with us, they wanted some more of those. I'm like, oh God, no, we have to do something
So
about
I'm
this.
almost done, but just, it's cute. We get kind of attracted to this like cuteness of the script and the scroll and the italicized, and it's cute, but it's not discernible. So I think it's really important. One thing I love about like the pancake breakfast, red on that white background, those words are very discernible and clear. They're oriented in a way that I can read them. Even if I'm speeding, I can probably grab the words and understand what the message is. But if we get cute, and we start putting things sideways and scripting and italicizing, we lose the message. I actually kind of like this because
I like that one
It's-
too.
it's clear. It's actually very clear what the message is.
And I thought we could use a
I'm done.
picture, like
Thank
either
you.
an old picture of our downtown or, something like that. So,
So
I guess
like
what
the
I'm-
Wolfpack Country. I'm sorry. I really like the Wolfpack Country because the red and white it makes me want to spend. And it's very clear and crisp. And even though it does kind of have like a old fashioned cheerleaders kind of vibe on it, it's still kind of cool.
so what our thought was, is we kind of were looking for this kind of feedback from you guys. Tell us, these are the banners that have been bought over the years, other than the one that's up, this is
Right.
what we have. Okay, this, when the guys gotta go change the banners, this is what we have to choose from. And right now, some of them are just looking really bad. And we had talked about, replacing a couple $1,000s worth, but where that leads us is, what direction are we going for in the future? Like what we have, something to complement some of those, because, while the pancake breakfast ones, those could, I think, be up, but we need something with it. Because if you want to put the pancake breakfast on every single one in town,
It's
I
a
don't
lot.
know.
We want to.
I mean,
Right now, that one goes up every other, it goes up July 1st and it comes down.
but every other, you put the Wolfpack one with it, right?
Yes,
Right. And so, do those look good together? And then,
Right, so consistency is good.
right,
We
and like the font, do we want to stick to a certain font? And then, our logo that we have, the City of Lanesburg one, we kind of thought we could make that into a banner because it's really colorful
And you could mix that one in, it would make sense.
and that's kind of what we were thinking, was we could take that and then that would be something we could put up with other things. And then like on the poles as you come into town, like maybe right by High Street there in the middle school, we could put school stuff.
Mhm.
We could make sections a little bit, like when you're coming in the other way, like welcome to Lanesburg, and then this said welcome to Lanesburg or something. Instead of put welcome on every pole, why not on the way in? But we're just trying to think of things that, these are our opportunity to say something. And we gotta figure out what it is you guys want us to say.
You could probably go 3 different flags at one time, or banners if you wanted to.
And we might be able to get the city to buy some too, because I just
Have
feel
we
like,
bought all of them?
I assume you have. I think that I don't know. When we first got the polls, I can't tell you what happened then, But
I think when we did all the bracketing, the city bought all the bracketing. Then I think we bought think we split it with them or something, we bought the
Right.
first go round.
But, and I mean, we haven't taken it to city council to ask them, but as we look at this, we think that our budget should be a little bit more than it is in order to really start to make something look good out there. So,
Right, well, if you think if they're 45, just round that to 50, we budgeted 2,500, that's 50 minus
Yeah.
the extra brackets and
so
stuff.
this is one we did. That
Yeah, I
has-
really like our, the logo.
That's our
It's really
logo.
nice.
I mean, we think that would look kind of cool.
So you
on
could
the-
mix that,
on
your
the banner.
pancake breakfast, your
nice.
wolf pack.
We like
and
this
it all
one that's
flow
got all
together.
these, like,
And with all those colors.
Yeah.
It could go with a lot of.
What about like a patriotic one?
I thought about
That
that
you
Yeah.
could
too.
throw in, like, you could throw that any time of the year, maybe not so much winter, it might
Well-
seem off.
well, I
but
was
all
thinking
summer,
that,
all
like-
spring,
Like
Memorial Day, 4th of
Memorial
July.
Day, Flag Day.
and it wouldn't seem odd at all to have a flag every so many either, something patriotic.
Yep, and that, well, that's why we were looking at maybe something else, maybe this blue or something red or something that would be able to be like intertwined with the patriotic
Yeah.
ones or with one of those. So we're kind of looking,
Yeah, I like the idea of going with the American flag colors. and
I'm sure they have
staying-
a
staying
million
there,
options
red,
like
white, and
that.
blue. Red, white,
What
and blue.
about, everybody, that we always put the big flags up too for all the patriotic holidays? So that's why
Right.
Kim and I were thinking maybe no patriotic stuff.
Yeah, I ever thought about that too, but they're up for such a short time.
but they're not up for that long, that's true.
Well, Yeah, so we were like, well, do we need those when all the other ones go up?
It would be a good filler.
Yeah, and it could be planned around. And that makes it a little bit harder for David.
And you know, and we're
They
gonna
look
like
good, they
like
look
the
good.
farmer's market has Wednesday on it, I think we're just gonna put farmer's market and not the date because they keep moving it around and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying
It's
that.
ruining the value of the flag.
Right, so
You
why
can't do
not
anything
just
with that.
put farmer's market on the flag? And then, you know, people, if they wanna know when our farmer's market is, anybody today is probably gonna Google it. They're gonna go,
Facebook, whatever.
yeah,
Can't we just take
That
like
is,
this?
I love that flag so much. So I think those would
Yeah,
be
can't we
nice.
take these logos and like have someone, like just take this piece and put it on every flag and have the lower piece say farmer's market, you know, pancake
Oh,
breakfast,
bunch.
you know, and then this and then that and visit our park and, you know, but every one has just the strip along the top so that they all look consistent.
that's not a bad idea.
But I think we've already got a design. Why do we need to? I mean, maybe there's an economy here where these are cheap or.
That's
affordable.
absolutely what it is, that,
The standard ones.
yes, you go,
More
Yeah.
color, the more it's gonna cost.
But-
well,
but to
and-
me, they're
and-
just,
the more, if they're not exact, because if they say, okay, we can do that one, they can mass produce me 15, 20 of those. Cheaper than they can make me one that says that at the top and something at the bottom.
So
I'm not saying we can't, we can
I
do what
get
we
it.
want, we can go that route, but we have to, you know,
Put the
I
pen
think
there.
that we, you know, I really, really like this.
yeah.
But then I think we use that color palette to do other flags.
And that's
So,
what we were thinking too. Yep.
so it could be every other or some variation where we just repeat this color palette, then this flag will always be good with whatever else we put out.
That's-
Although, you know, that wolf pack doesn't match the color palette,
Correct.
but
it makes sense.
it's,
Makes
it
sense to
makes
have
sense for
Langsford
us,
and
yes,
Wolfpack.
right.
Right.
It makes sense to
Right.
have it.
The one
Right,
question
and then,
is
you know,
this
the other
still
thing
really
is
going by red and white still?
Could we
or is it black
redesign
and red?
that
Technically,
one
it is
so
still
that
red and
it's a
white.
little more modern and that, you know, maybe the kids at the school would want to design it. We don't want to go too
Well,
crazy. but Kim and I like that too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't though,
If you
because
want
this
to
is blurry and fuzzy and
Well,
it's a
true.
completely different design than this, which is
And-
crisp.
Right,
and
but
has
we
clean
think this one
edges.
is cool, like if it says
It's
Langsford on
cool,
the
but
end.
I would look for something
What would
crisper.
they- I'm sure they could think it tastes
That's all.
I love the farmer's market
example,
and
if-
it
You know,
matches.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They may love them, but
For
at the same
example,
time,
this,
it represents
just this
somebody
one,
else,
just
and
just
you have to
good
touch base on
old fashioned saturated blue.
That match.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we
Let me
were
try
thinking,
this.
is we could get
You know, just keeping it real simple.
stuff that could hang nicely
And you could
together.
just put
Yeah,
words
I
on
like
there
that
and they
idea.
look They look great, but what's important, I think, is that the colors are rich and saturated and they eye catching. And to just kind of watch out for this kind of washed out thing, I wouldn't do anything too washed out.
But we
So
did,
you
we
could
like,
do-
that's what we were thinking.
You
too.
could do blue, and then if you can find a red, I don't see a red anywhere. Where's red?
I almost got a little red, if you clear that red.
I thought that downtown one was kind of cool. I don't know where or what, or if we wanted to just,
So we just need this red, and then you've got two like this, like you could do these, and then you could do farmer's market in blue, and pancake breakfast in red.
fall.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and I think that looks okay together too. 'cause it
right.
matches the
So
building.
you
Yeah.
guys are seeing what we're kind of thinking is that, we can't just randomly keep buying a random stray banner because
Well, it don't serve the purpose.
they don't,
We don't look unified.
no.
It's not our palette of colors.
Yeah. It's
And,
like,
and you don't see that on any of our buildings. You know, I mean, really.
right,
you know,
right, no.
Don't
And
make
so that's,
suggestions.
see, I mean, when I look at this, I'm like, this is a hodgepodge. How does Davey decide what he's gonna put up with what? Because it just doesn't match.
and this goes.
Yep, and those are still in
Yeah,
good
those
shape.
are good.
Those
those are
ones are still in
actually-
good shape.
I think those are fine, yeah,
So,
I agree. We can.
All right, so what are we doing here? So we
Looks
talked
like
about
we're
it.
trying to
do
get
we-
our,
Picking
what
a
do we
color
have?
scheme.
it's like we're trying to get our pants to match our shirt. so.
I meant, what are we just,
what do
And
we have
most
for
guys
money,
just walk
Rosemary?
out with
Is
a
it- am I right? Is
non-color
it
match.
2,000?
So first of all, we need to not have Dave hang the banners, we need a gal out there to hang the damn
Well,
banner.
why do you think the girls in the office have been working on this?
Exactly.
See, Dave, show the pictures you came back with.
Dave, here's,
Yeah.
What you doing? You came back with some pictures, which weren't all your fault. It was,
oh, no, our banners and signs, we have $4,025.
yes, because I kind of thought we didn't buy any
Yeah.
last year.
We did
rolled
not,
it
and we
together.
rolled it in, so there's $4,025. I don't know why.
So I think
25.
if
If
we
you
got-
take, if you
if the
take
council-
half of them, 17, that's 850, right? Approximately, is that right?
10 times 45 is 450, so.
It's $850 for half of the poles, if you have 34.
So it could be 17.
So that's 17 of whack. So instead of taking this all out at once, until you determine what other colors,
Right,
what you
right,
want to make, we can improve if we're going to stay with the Wolfpack one, right?
yeah.
So we can do 17 of them now.
There are only 13 wolf packs, so you would need, unless you're gonna order some more wolf pack, but then they might not match
Or if we updated the Wolfpack one, like
altogether.
something to go with it.
I'm saying you
Thought we
eliminate,
were talking about the.
you eliminate the ones that are there.
Oh, just get rid of them.
Right.
Well,
So you're
yeah,
not mixing them.
so you're not mixing them at all.
Mhm.
You're buying 17 new ones. 17 of them will do half of the poles, and you're not gonna put all of them up at once.
You put the other
So that's
17
what
in
this order
something
sheet
else.
is.
Correct.
Right here.
So you've already improved
This one.
the Wolfpack one that you're keeping. So we can do that now, right?
Right.
Everybody agree?
Agree.
Okay,
So we're gonna order 17 Wolfpack, but not those particular.
I don't care, just,
Okay.
we need new ones, right?
Yep.
Because they're faded and whatever. The pancake breakfast one is a short period of time and they're in decent shape. We
Yep.
don't need.
No, I don't think.
So we're gonna come up with a new design of something else, like you have here, which
That will
everybody
match.
kind of likes, it sounds like. The Winterfest ones are stained because they're not wore out. So we gotta go to farmer's market. And we gotta go to, I think I like the idea of not being this is spring, and this is autumn.
I'm like, don't you know it's spring? You're driving through town in
I
spring.
think I like
I like the
her idea
leaves.
better of picking up what
Yeah.
we are, meaning our
And then,
our logo or our color or whatever it is. You come in the other,
You should take them to the
get rid
trash
of the
can.
bad.
so there, now we pretty much eliminated That's what we're gonna keep. And I like the idea of no date on the farm either.
Right, right,
Why do that? Because now you're just limiting
Yeah.
when they can go up.
See, this isn't, that's not horrible.
It's doable, but
Right.
it's definitely like.
And it's only up for
throws me
a
for
month.
loop.
Or
Yeah.
less.
Correct.
We
It's
put those up
November.
and then up comes the Christmas stuff.
Poof, yeah, it's gone.
Right, what-
So
right.
they're literally down before Winterfest,
Okay,
because they put the Christmas
lights
lights up
up,
in
right.
November.
So they're up very short time.
Yes.
So there's
you
no
could give
reason
them
to
a
just
good
replace them and
another
get
year
new
or
ones
two
now.
to do something.
Just keep using them.
Correct.
So the
Yeah,
next
that
thing
was
is to
very
get a
decent.
design on, are you thinking 3 different ones?
I mean,
Or
that-
maybe one solid one?
No, I think these and then maybe just picking 2 out so that we can have.
Okay, so one,
I would say this is,
And you already
Food.
have blue.
this is eating and food, and this is. No, sort of that. This is recreation.
I love
Blue
the,
is recreation, red is eating.
when you were holding those up from over here, I actually like that there's an orange one.
Yeah,
That's
that
like a
flame
brighter orange or something.
Yeah,
It's just a, it was on.
It's
with a
on the
bunch of-
paper there, I think. with the
Yeah,
third
it's
one.
right there.
No, it's
with-
laying with the
this one?
third. No, it's laying on this paper on the table with 3 of them, isn't
But
it?
that one's leaves.
That one right there, yeah.
I like that too, but like for another color, I don't know you, that we need another blue, you know?
both of them that
For
one,
winter.
right?
I just was meaning like, one of those just seemed to stand out when they were being held up. It just looked like it was solid orange. but Maybe
It wasn't my downtown one.
I do like the.
I like the downtown,
But it's a lot like
but
the links
this
were going.
seems so much more modern.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes, yes, we are.
Similar to autumn. similar to
That one
spring.
with all those colors on it seems pretty too. Like on that
But
one.
in case you're driving through and don't notice, we're historic.
It's
That
just
would
really
tell you.
soft.
Okay.
It's like a different
Unless,
style.
Mark, unless you want to go to uptown.
So what's
Yeah,
left
up-
then?
Up the hill. So the other thing to do, I guess, is maybe is to find out what those are gonna, maybe they're gonna be a lot more.
I don't know about a lot more, but they have to charge us like the set fee and the, you know what I mean? So it is gonna
Okay,
cost
right.
a little bit.
Yeah,
But
once you get them
But
set, then
knowing
they
that
can
we
pound
have
them
like
out.
4,000 from the DDA and then maybe the city kicks in a couple thousand, we could at least get 3 or 4 different banners.
Well,
to
so I'm
mix
thinking we
in
could
with
get
what we
another,
have.
we can either buy the rest of the, if you guys wanna do the rest of the poles, the structures or whatever you need
We
to
do
put them
brackets,
on,
we do-
brackets.
What's a brackets cost, David? Any idea?
I don't know.
I don't know who didn't.
But we do have,
Gary
you know,
did
we
that.
just have like 8 more poles that don't have brackets. It just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
I mean, and there's probably more if you count some of those in the back of that parking lot there.
But I think we had a made at SLMH.
Well, do you think you want to change the Wolfpack Country sign in some manner, or just leave it just the way it is and have them print us some new ones?
No, I would change them, absolutely change them. If we're gonna have them, if we're gonna get new ones, we should probably try to have a consistent, start getting into a consistent font.
But you're not gonna put any blue on that.
No.
No, that's gonna be Wolfpack red and
It
white.
would be red and white. I think the red and white looks great. I would just change the font style. I don't know, is that the school's? font?
No, it's not. But we just ordered that randomly, I think.
Yeah, I would just, I see the farmer market words, market, that's really, I like that. Modern, it's clear, it's crisp.
I guess the thing to do then, other than them to come up with I mean, they must have an artist there that does. I
Well,
mean,
I'm-
no different than my t-shirt
Sure,
shop.
sure.
You call them, tell them, say, hey, this is what I
Right.
want, send me something over. here, let me
Send
look
us
at it."
something
Yeah.
And then
modern.
we'll pick it.
Well, and
So
that's
do you
kind of
want to do
where,
that and actually have them send us something? Why
I
don't we do
think
that?
so. Why
Before we
not?
make spend any
You
money.
you can
Yeah.
take a picture of each
I
one.
mean,
of
I think
these.
this was good. We got some great feedback from you guys, what direction, because
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of felt like if we just said, hey, Dave, order some more, we're gonna get a lot more what we have.
Right.
And nothing is working, nothing is, and that's coming from us in the front office. We're all like, you know.
I would just say the reds and the blues.
I mean, actually, when Dave forwarded me the thing that Edward sent, I was like, what the? And I asked the girls, come look at this. And they were like, what the? And it turns out it's what we already have.
Right.
And that's why Edward sent it. I mean, they were just kind of sticking with what we had,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that we're gonna invest that much money in banners and everybody sees them.
Modern enough.
Yeah.
Well, and if you
I think
change
it's
it,
great
you're gonna get people noticing.
Right,
Now,
if you
they
just
used
make it
to-
exactly the same, then.
Right.
Take them
nobody-
about 4 passes through town, and somebody's gonna say, golly, they changed the banners.
Yeah,
All right, well, I guess if you can
Okay.
get them to send us something,
yep, and then we.
you got an
can-
idea,
Yep, that's
have
way
them
better.
palletize the idea, and then give us some choices, and then we'll
Yes.
make a decision. It sounds like we have some money towards it.
Yep, yep.
And if the city can kick in any, then let's get it that much closer to happen.
I like it.
Get your bracket prices so that we kind of know where we're headed, you know.
The other thing that I think needs attention is our 2 signs again.
Yeah.
And those are not cheap to do.
The city entrance signs,
Are they looking faded or what's going on?
All of the above. If you don't maintain them or keep them up, they'll,
the weather out.
yeah.
It's the garden club not keeping those.
The garden club disbanded. So we gotta throw that on our.
Because I can see that in the front of that one, because I'm like.
Oh, it's so tall, you can't even.
When they did it last spring,
Right.
she called me in July and said they disbanded. They're done.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, and then that thing at the post office is dead. There's like a, right by the flags and the memorial wall, there's like, but I'm like, oh, because I thought they were taking care of.
So anyway, we need to, I know that in the past, we've had the same company repair or we sent, when we take them down, because I
Right.
take them down myself. Take them down, send them in and then they send them back.
We drive them up there.
Okay.
And we go get them. It's in White Cloud.
Okay. So you've taken them there?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
right on the way.
Yeah. on the way
Can
to
we get
nowhere.
can you get a hold of them and get us a price on what that's gonna cost? Let us know, so that we can budget that somehow. I will take care of the redoing the posts. But I'll just go repair them and
The last
put them
time,
together, and I'll get baits or something. when
we did it, they sent us back with paint.
Okay,
So the, the post matched the sign.
okay. Yeah, because I remember taking them down and putting them together both times.
They're just.
I think we've done it
Twice that I know. of.
twice that since we put them up, and we put them up 25 years ago.
The clock. It doesn't have a bracket on it, does it? In front of the farm.
This lock is not.
I wouldn't think it did. This clock even works still.
Yeah,
I know it got replaced.
Yeah.
Except when I forgot that we lost power and it would have reset it. It was working. it was
I
just
thought it
off
was
by 2
solar.
hours.
That's why
It was
I
off
thought
by
I was
2
late for
hours.
work. I thought it was solar.
is there anything else? You look like you have.
I was gonna tell you that it's back to the
the
Phase 4.
Phase 4.
So the 2,800 that we brought forward was Butnick and Hunt. And we haven't paid out Hunt yet. Of
And
the
that's it?
5,000.
And that's the only one that has it
That's the only one that hasn't been paid out
from last year.
from last year. But we brought the funds forward to this year's budget
Okay.
of 2,800. We brought 2,800 forward.
Okay.
So we'll, and we had $8,640. So we have just under 20,000 for the budget for this year for new face forwards.
That haven't been, we haven't.
We haven't selected or,
No,
you know,
done anything
upcoming,
with it,
that's
right.
right, right.
But that's what we have in there.
That's what we haven't,
We budgeted for that.
yes.
So you're at 70 and you're gonna get another 40, so you're, okay. I'm just thinking of the larger project still. How much money would be there? Okay, Anybody else got anything else? Dave, do you have anything? No? No? No.
For me,
If we can get a hold of them, sign people, and at least give us a guess. They should know. I know they've already done it twice, so. They're not super bad, but they need
I
attention
got
now.
all the big, it's gotta go.
I'll give it to you, and see if you can track it down.
You said it's in White Cloud? Yeah, I didn't remember that.